Hello, my name is FreeHabitOften and welcome to Verdict, where I evaluate new games and rank them on the leaderboard. Originally, these evaluations came together with 100-minute dive episodes, where I share 100 minutes of gameplay from streams on Twitch. However, from now on, Verdict will be a separate series. And let's evaluate Memoriapolis. This game was a bit harder to evaluate, as some parts represent really great game, but others are clearly early access slips. Anyway, as for all games, I will try to ignore early access fact as much as possible and give a fair score. That being said, the first category is short-term engagement. There are a lot of great things for the start. Building mechanics and organic growth feels great, having kind of history-based evolving city and managing groups of people and desires is enough. But even the pacing seems okay, at least as for a city builder. It's not clear where developer wants player to focus his attention, as basic needs, keep the city fed and satisfied, do not really give any challenge. Maybe because games still do not provide a lot of creative ways to combat those challenges in the first place. So our components, the fun factor and player motivation takes a hard hit here. Because of this, and glimpsing to what I gave for some other games in this category, I cannot give more for this one than 2.5 stars out of 5. We are moving to replayability and complexity, which you might think gets even lower score than in short-term engagement, but no. Even clear direction of the game and challenges missing from the game is still an issue. On the long term, you hardly can create identical cities. You can evolve buildings in different ways, so multiple endings and replayability can be okay. We have seen quite a few fix patches coming out right away after release, and developers' interest in game is always a plus. That being said, of course, true difficulty and strategic depth is missing for this early access title, so it's 3 out of 5. Good news that in next categories game does much better. Visuals and audio. It's hard not to try to perfect things all the time in this category, but game looks and sounds great. Maybe you could add some more zoom, more details to terrain, and maybe some voiceovers over those chunks of text, but you could for example find in Civilization. Just because there are some clear things to improve, I must take some stars away, but overall it's one of the shiny parts of the game. 3.5 out of 5. Handling and user interface. User interface looks good, is quite clear to use, and building feels free and not complicated. But there are things to improve for sure. For example, some snappy feature while building would be nice. Getting resource filters while building production buildings I think is a must. In-game help is not sufficient. It does not tell how certain mechanics work, and for example, if some faction events are random or not. Overall, there is quite a few misleading or unclear data representations in user interface. For example, the one that we encountered in this gameplay while improving farms, it says that improving provides a bonus with a plus sign, while actually that bonus becomes your field production and is not added to your previous production. Also, user interface sometimes does not guide players' attention. For example, while first time seeing corruption system in Senatus, you can miss those points appearing under factions, and not to mention, but you need to try to click them and there is no shiny parts around them. I don't want to expand much more, but you get the idea. You don't need early access to figure out things like that. You just need a single new person to play the game and see how it goes for him. I probably would take more stars away, but if I try not to judge the same component multiple times, the score remains 3 out of 5. And finally, uniqueness is good. I haven't seen this evolving city approach to a city builder with nice touch of history. It's even better that this city is yours. Truly unique city that nobody can truly replicate. On the other hand, I cannot really justify saying that there are a lot of new mechanics or that this historic and aesthetic design wins against many competitors, because it just lacks many other things. Even the first game on this series, Cataclysma, while also being early access, provides much more fun and stands better against those old classics of city builders. 3 out of 5. Even the game already does not score well, I need to point out two most important negative factors. First is tutorial. I probably would feel the same or even better if tutorial would have been just the first playthrough rule for a game, as the real one did not teach me most of the things in the game, and after it I needed to go for some kind of similar thing later. Chapters guiding your whole game feels like never getting out of tutorial in the first place. The second negative factor is price. I understand that graphics soaked a lot of resources, but having early access that seems to be like game's demo version but haven't ever been played by not insider, and paying for that 25 euros is a bit too much. This sums up to 2 negative stars. This brings our score to just 2.6. Not much, and unfortunately taking the last place in our series leaderboard. But the game has potential, so I'm looking forward to coming back and updating the score if the game gets its cons fixed. Thank you for watching. This was Free Happy Dolphin, and see you on the next episode.